in the next 10 to 15 days you will learn how are they related with the rest of the environment. ठीक है, वो आगे पढ़ लेंगे डिटेल में, यू विल गेट द कंप्लीट पिक्चर. अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट कंटेंट डाउट्स कुछ है? एल्बिडो आई विल डिस्कस. ठीक है, नेक्स्ट ऑनलाइन. How many total number of latitudes and longitudes are there? See, longitudes जो है ना, they are total 360 longitudes. How 360 longitudes? See, longitudes, it is, this is the center, the axis. ठीक है, axis of the earth. And if suppose imagine this is the prime meridian, and those areas which are east of the prime meridian, they are written as east longitudes. Those areas which are west of the prime meridian, they are called as western longitudes. Now to make it little more simpler, what I'll do is I'll open the earth. ठीक है, imagine I'm opening the earth. Opening the earth means is जो round earth है, I'll convert into a square earth. Can I do that? What I'll do is I'll just imagine there is a ball, globe है, globe को आपने एक side tear किया and you have opened that globe. Now that becomes a square. In fact, when you open this, don't you think that the shape of the globe will be like this? Just a minute, sorry. It is ऐसा होता है ना, बिकॉज वेन यू ओपन दिस इज अ स्मॉल एरिया बट इन द सेंटर इट इज वेरी ब्रॉड. ये सब आपका इक्वेटर हो गया, ये तो पोलर रीजन. नाउ जस्ट इमेजिन दैट दिस इज द प्राइम मेरिडियन. ठीक है, प्राइम मेरिडियन इज 0 डिग्री लॉन्गिट्यूड, राइट? इट इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी द फर्स्ट लॉन्गिट्यूड. Likewise, if you go on searching, ठीक है, if you go on drawing the longitudes, this is 180 degree east. Now what is this latitude? Sorry, longitude. 180 degree west. So between 180 degree west and 180 degree east, or for simplification, what I'll do is what is the time gap? What is the time gap? 24 घंटे का टाइम गैप होता है. ठीक है, 24 hours, near to 24 hours if not, right? How this 24 hours? This is 0. 1 degree is equal to how many minutes? 4 minutes. Now 360 degrees is equal to almost 24 hours, right? So there are 360 longitudes and latitudes. Near about 90 latitudes, recognized latitudes are there, but sub-latitudes can be many more. ठीक है? So today we'll go little ahead and try to learn the seasons. Seasons plus rotation and revolution. ठीक है? Before I start, I wanted to ask a question. The rotation leads to day and night. Is the statement right? Yes. The revolution leads to seasons. Only revolutions will lead to seasons. Only revolution will lead to seasons. No. The axial tilt of the earth and the revolutions of the earth will lead to the seasons. True? Right? Seasons formations के लिए 2 factors है. एक, the axial tilt of the earth, and second, the revolution. Revolution is the sun, the earth going around the sun, right? So today we'll learn about that revolutions and how is that revolutions bringing in the seasons to India. When is the summer season starting? When is the winter season starting? Now, is the summer season in the northern hemisphere also the summer season in the southern hemisphere? No, it is the winter season, right? When there is spring in the north, there is autumn in the south. Okay? So likewise, you will learn today that all the species that are there on the earth, they move with the sun. Okay? Migration, birds. There are few species, they cannot survive heat. ठीक है, जहां जहां as the sun moves, the species will also move with the sun, right? Okay. Yesterday, did you understand the concept of intensity of light? See, you know this is the earth. Let me quickly revise the concepts of the rotation and revolution and the intensity of the light. See, yesterday I told you that the sun rays always comes the sun rays always come straight. Okay, just imagine this is your sun. Okay, imagine these sun rays which are coming, they are actually covering directly. Look at the angle here. The angle of incidence of the sun's rays is coming directly and falling in this part of the area, and they are covering a very small area. But if the same sun rays look at this place, are they covering a larger surface area? Same amount of heat. Sun has the same amount of heat. Okay? Sun will send same amount of heat. But when the rays are coming and falling slanting way, and they are covering the larger surface area, look at this large surface area, utna hi amount of heat is falling in this surface area, and utna hi, the same intensity of light is also falling in the very small area. This area will receive more heat. This area will receive less heat. That's why in the polar region, the temperatures are not so high. In the polar region, the temperatures are not so high. It is primarily because of the angle of incidence of the suns. The angle of incidence of the sun's rays, they are falling slantly. Look at this angle here. What is the angle which is made? Near 90 degrees, right? But look at the angle. Slanting है ना? ठीक है? ये जो एंगल्स हैं डायरेक्टली फॉल कर रहे हैं, यहाँ स्लैंटिंग है. इसीलिए रिमेंबर दिस फैक्ट वेरी क्लियरली. यूपीएससी एग्जामिनर कैन गेट इनटू दिस एरियाज आल्सो. व्हाई द पोलर रीजन्स हैव लेस टेम्परेचर्स in spite of the availability of the sunlight? It is because the rays that are coming to the polar region cover larger surface area. The same intensity of sunlight will come and cover larger surface area. That's why the heat is distributed in a wider area. ये है लॉजिक. ठीक है, ये नहीं है सर पोलर रीजन्स में नॉर्थ पोल की नियर है, 90 डिग्री लैटिट्यूड के नियर है. ये जवाब नहीं है. राइट एक्सप्लेनेशन इज दिस. Yes? Due to albedo, yes, albedo factor is also there, but the primary factor is this. And do you have any doubts what is an axis? Area of illumination? Area of illumination, clear hai? What is the area of illumination of the sun on the earth? Area of illumination matlab, kitna percentage of earth is always covered by the sunlight? 50%. ठीक है, ध्यान से याद रखना 50% होता है. Now look at this, as you already know that. Okay, so we are going to learn about rotation, revolution of the earth and the seasons. So you know about the angle of incidence, you also know the area of illumination. ठीक है, and the third keyword that I have to teach you is apparent movement of the sun. ठीक है, ये ध्यान से याद रखना. Achyut has asked a question, sir. You said that Earth rotates from west to east. How come west to east, and how come west side will be a day ahead than east will be behind a day? Wait for some time, I'll again come to this topic and we'll discuss this in detail again. ठीक है? Okay. See, first thing I have to tell you what is an apparent movement of the sun. Apparent movement of the sun means, first you need to understand one thing: sun will never move from its place. Sun definitely rotates and revolves. देखो, today you are standing in the morning here. Just imagine you are facing the east. Where is the sun? Opposite to you. That means you are facing opposite to the east. Imagine in front there is your sun. By evening, where will be the sun? Is the sun moving? It is earth moving. ठीक है? Sun वहीं पर है. Actually, sun, it is the earth which moves. और हमें जो लगता है ना, जैसे मैं यहाँ पे खड़ा हूँ and I am looking onto the sun and it feels that अरे यार sun is moving from here to there. Sun do not moves. It is the earth that rotates. We say that the sun sets and the sun rises. See, sun will never set and sun will never rise. It is the earth which will be rotating and we will be facing that sun and we will be not facing that sun. ठीक है? You have to remember that. See, as the sun do not move from its place, it only rotates and revolves around the Milky Way galaxy. It is actually the earth which is rotating will feel as if the sun is moving. So that's why we call it as apparent movement of the sun. It is apparently moving. ऐसा लगता है वो मूव हो रहा है, but in fact वो मूव नहीं हो रहा है. इसीलिए we call it as apparent movement of the sun. ठीक है? It is the apparent movement of the sun. In fact, the sun do not move, but we human beings who are standing on the earth will feel that the sun is rising and the sun is setting. Right? This is called as the apparent movement of the sun. Area of illumination, you already know, 50%. And axial parallel, yesterday I told you that our earth's axis is always parallel to the next position. Right? If you know these three things, you'll understand the entire seasons concept. So let's start to understand the concept of seasons. You know that earth rotates. Yes, please come. The earth rotates and the earth also revolves. ठीक है? Earth rotates, earth revolves. Rotation will lead to the day and night. Now first let's try to understand about the rotation. See, you know that, look at this beautiful earth. ठीक है? Just imagine you are standing somewhere here. Right? And this is your sun. ठीक है? Now see, as the earth moves from west to east, you know that earth always moves from west to east. Earth rotates in this direction. Right? So you look here, always the person who is on the eastern side will face the sun first. And the person who is on the western side, they face the sun little later. You just imagine yourself, you are standing here, and what I'll do is, I'll move the globe. ठीक है? So if you are standing here, I'm standing here, the sun is facing on the opposite side. So if I'm being rotated, just imagine if I'm being rotated in this manner. Right? That means I'm actually moving away from the sun. I'm moving towards the other side of the sun. In reality, it will be like this. See here. If this is your sun, always 50% of the earth is illuminated. In fact, this part of the earth which is there, it is under the darkness. Do you agree? ठीक है, ये सब डार्कनेस में है. So, if I am able to make a person stand here and there's another person who is there, this person is in the night and this person is in the day. Right? So rotation will always leads to day and night. Now revolution, when it comes to revolution, will lead to the seasons. As you already know, two basic concepts. Number one, revolution means if this is your earth, what does the earth do? Earth revolves around the sun. This is your sun. That means it takes near about 365 days to go around the sun. ये basic facts सबको पता है, right? अब जब sun revolve, the earth which is revolving, earth has a fixed orbit, ठीक है? But that fixed orbit also sometimes what does it do is it keeps on wobbling. Wobbling means अर्थ का जो ऑर्बिट है ना, वो हमेशा फिक्स्ड पोजीशन पर नहीं है. इट हैज अ फिक्स्ड ऑर्बिट, बट द पोजीशन ऑफ द ऑर्बिट कीप्स ऑन मूविंग. लेट मी रिपीट दिस. अर्थ हैज ए फिक्स्ड ऑर्बिट, बट द पोजीशन ऑफ द ऑर्बिट कैन शिफ्ट हियर एंड देयर. नाउ दिस इज कॉल्ड एज can anyone tell me what is this called? Yes. What is this called? Milankovitch cycles. Milankovitch cycles मतलब अर्थ ना sometimes it changes its position. उनका जो axis है, that axis will also tilt here and there. Now they are given different names in this Milankovitch cycles. One is called as eccentricity. ठीक है? One is called as eccentricity. Eccentricity matlab, in literal terms, let me show it to you. Look at this orbit. Earth has a fixed orbit, but the position of the orbit changes. It keeps on changing. Do you understand by looking at this diagram? Can you look into this? ठीक है? Earth has a fixed orbit, but the position of the orbit keeps on changing. Understand the terms which I am trying to tell you. Earth has a fixed orbit, but the positions of the orbit keeps on changing. Orbital plane change नहीं हो रहा है, वो plane हिल रहा है. ठीक है? Orbital plane is not changing, but the orbital plane position is shifting. हाँ, see, basically क्या होता है ना, अर्थ का ऑर्बिट, what is the shape of the orbit? It is not oval, it is elliptical. See, Earth orbit is like this. If this is your sun, this is not how the Earth goes around the sun. In fact, our orbit is like this. ठीक है? It is like an elliptical. ठीक है? Saucer भी नहीं है, elliptical कहाँ जाता है? Elliptical is basically on one side you will be near, on the other side you will be far away. अब the nearest point where the earth is there, your earth can be here. After 6 months, your earth position will be here. Right? The nearest place to which the earth and the sun is there, this position is called as perihelion. Is पास में, aphelion is apart. You're right. It is called as perihelion. If the earth is far away from your sun, this is called as aphelion. Same way, if the moon is very near to the earth, the nearest position to the earth of the moon, it is called as perigee. The farthest position from the earth and the moon, it is called as apogee. ठीक है? ओके, तो अब आपको एक और चीज पता चला, जो अपना जो अर्थ है, अर्थ हैज एन एलिप्टिकल ऑर्बिट which is called as EO. ये जो ऑर्बिट का पोजीशन, लुक हियर नाउ, क्लियरली लुक हियर, द ऑर्बिट विल बी सेम बट दैट ऑर्बिट पोजीशन will keep on moving from one place to another place. Now this is called as Milankovitch cycles में one of the cycle is this called as eccentricity. ठीक है, eccentricity कहाँ जाता है if this keeps on wobbling. Now Milankovitch cycles also has two other things. Do you remember the axis? Axis भी कभी कभार अर्थ का axis क्या होता है ना, it keeps on changing or shifting its position by few degrees. See, do you know that earth has north pole and south pole? Earth has magnetic north pole, magnetic south pole, geographic north pole and geographic south pole. Earth has 4 poles. One is magnetic north and the magnetic south, geographic north and geographic south. See, the concept which we are studying with respect to the Milankovitch cycles, in which if suppose your axis is there, this is your axis, if it is shifting its angle, this is called as changes in obliquity. ठीक है, this is called as changes in obliquity. But on the other side, if suppose as the earth rotates, axis also rotates, right? If the axial position is shifting, this is called as axial precession, which is also called as wobble. ठीक है, this is called as wobbling. इन्हें कहते हैं Milankovitch cycles. ठीक है, वन एसेंट्रिसिटी मतलब ऑर्बिट को हिलना, और obliquity मतलब it is the axial tilt which is there. It changes with small changes in the angles. You know that 23.5 degrees is the axial tilt. So there will be a small change that can take place, that is called as obliquity. अब ये Milankovitch cycles जो है कितने साल में एक बार होता है? It can happen in thousands of years once. अब क्यों होता है, कोई मुझे बता सकते हो? Why does this axial tilt is happening? Why is this wobbling position of the wobble, the axial rotation which is there, it is changing? Who is responsible for this? Natural calamities, very good. Pressure, no, pressure has a very light factor. It is climate change. For example, you know that this earth is covered with lot of ice in the North Pole. If I'm melting this ice, don't you think that there is some weight which has been distributed on the earth? Or else, I have decided that I'll go and construct lot of constructions near to the polar region. यहाँ पे मैं कई सारे घर बनाया, मिट्टी खोदा. Don't you think that the weight is distributed? For example, our Himalayas are there. They are so tall Himalayas. Now these Himalayas, if for some reason I've blasted a nuclear blast and I've reduced that Himalayas to a lower size, and all the material which is there in the Himalayas, Ganga mein, it started to deposit into the oceans and then distributed. Don't you think that the weight will be distributed? So it's basically the anthropogenic causes which will lead to climate changes, and that will lead to the changes in the cycle. And natural causes bhi hai. Now what are these natural causes? Volcanoes. Do you remember on the day when I have shown you a small video which indicates that this lot of material which is present in the interior of the earth, it is coming out, right? Now sometimes the volcanoes can increase. Sometimes when you learn, after 10 days you will learn about the interior of the earth. In the interior of the earth you will also learn about the core. Core is one of the heaviest material. कोर से भी कुछ ऐसा मटेरियल है जो सरफेस के ऊपर आता है. सो अर्थ का ना एक वेरी बैलेंस्ड एंटिटी. इफ दिस बैलेंस्ड एंटिटी चेंजेस, देयर आर सम चेंजेस व्हिच आर आल्सो गोइंग टू टेक प्लेस ऑन द एक्सियल टिल्ट एंड एज वेल एज द एसेंट्रिसिटी. ठीक है. सो other factors are also natural factors, sometimes solar flares, solar winds. Abhi 5 दिन पहले you might have come across a current affairs article that so many solar flares came and hit the earth, and because of which you got to see that beautiful lights in the northern pole, south pole, northern lights and southern lights. सोशल इंडिया में हर जगह whosoever is there in the northern part of the region, my friends are so many there in the near to the polar region, everyone is showcasing their beautiful night skies, but they don't know that it is the reason is solar flares. It has disrupted the communications of the North Pole satellites. ठीक है? For us, we feel so happy when we look beautiful colors in the sky near to the North Pole. But the reality is that there are many satellites which have to be repaired. There are lakhs and lakhs of crores which we have to spend again because of that. ठीक है? Okay. Now, you got to learn 3 more things. One, what is eccentricity, what is obliquity, and what is orbital precision. Right? Orbital precision, which is also nothing but axial precision. Right? इसे कहते हैं Milankovitch cycles. Now, who is this Milankovitch? Is nothing but a scientist, Russian scientist है. उन्होंने ये terms दिया था. ठीक है? Milankovitch is a Russian scientist. उन्होंने ये नाम दिया था. इसीलिए Milankovitch cycles include eccentricity, that is orbital positional change, and obliquity, which is the tilt in the axis, and the last one, that is orbital precision, that is nothing but wobbling भी कहा जाता है. And one more thing, I also told you that Earth has magnetic north pole, magnetic south pole. Earth has geographic north pole, geographic south pole. Do you know that magnetic north pole and magnetic south pole, they shift every year? चलो एक छोटा सा होमवर्क देता हूँ. Currently, you already know that on the paper you are supposed to write जो blank space मैंने दिया था, blank space पे आप current affairs लिखते आना है. तो recently क्या हुआ, हमारा जो magnetic north pole है, it has shifted by 58 kilometers this year. हर साल near about 40 to 60 kilometers it keeps on changing its position. So आप मुझे बताओ इस साल हमारा जो नॉर्थ पोल, मैग्नेटिक नॉर्थ पोल, कौन सा देश में लोकेटेड है? दिस इज अ स्मॉल होमवर्क फॉर यू. गो होम एंड चेक एंड टेल मी. नाउ यू कैन आस्क मी, सर, व्हाट इज मैग्नेटिक पोल? सी, this is North Pole and this is South Pole. This is nothing but geographic north and this is geographic south. This geographic north and south, if it is moving here and there, it is called as obliquity. ठीक है? और ये rotations में कुछ changes अगर लेके आ रहे हैं, that is called as precision, wobbling. But you have 2 more poles. Magnetic north and magnetic south. You also know that there is an equator. This is 0 degrees. What is this? Equator. Now this is an imaginary line that is drawn. We individuals have drawn it. Likewise, you also have magnetic equator. ठीक है? अपना जो magnetic equator है, it is not a straight line, rather it is an irregular line. ठीक है? This is called as homework again. In India, the magnetic equator passes through which place? In India, the magnetic equator passes through which place? This is a homework for you. Anyone who can tell me from which place is the magnetic equator passing through? 12 years, very good, Aditya. नहीं. See, from there we also have an equatorial launching station, जहाँ से हम rockets भी launch किया जाता है. Tumba equatorial launching station, which is present in the southern part, that is near to the Kerala and Tamil Nadu. That is where the magnetic equator passes through. Now, आप घर जाके ये भी थोड़ा बहुत होमवर्क कर लेना. व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस ऑफ दिस मैग्नेटिक इक्वेटर? दिस विल लर्न इन द जियोमॉर्फोलॉजी. ठीक है? अभी आई एम ओनली इंट्रोड्यूसिंग यू द कॉन्सेप्ट्स ऑफ मैग्नेटिक नॉर्थ एंड मैग्नेटिक साउथ, बिकॉज आई विल टेल यू व्हाई डू वी हैव दिस मैग्नेटिक नॉर्थ एंड मैग्नेटिक साउथ एज वन एक्सिस. ठीक है? वी हैव 2 different poles. सी, एंड आई ऑल्सो टोल्ड यू दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर पोजिशन विच इज देयर, इट कीप्स ऑन changing by how many kilometers? 40 to 60. Now why this changes, I'll explain this in the geomorphology classrooms. It is primarily because कुछ ऐसे changes interior of the earth में होता है, because of that they are changing. So until and unless I don't teach you what is the layers of the earth, then you may not understand this. अभी ये समझ लेना, फैक्ट की तरह समझ लो, that why do you have magnetic north and magnetic south. That's it. ठीक है? Come back. With this basic knowledge, what I'll do is I'll take you little more forward. ठीक है? So now directly we'll hit the bullseye, that is your seasons. Right? Imagine this is your sun. See, you know that earth axis is tilted by 23.5 degrees, 5 degrees, right? So if the sun is here, you know that there's equator, Tropic of Cancer, and then Arctic Circle. Likewise, Tropic of Capricorn, and this is Antarctic Circle, right? So during the months of the January, during the months of June, the sun's rays are completely different. In the month of June, you have summers in the northern hemisphere, and in the month of June, you have winters in the southern hemisphere. Okay? In the month of December, we have winters in the northern hemisphere, and in the month of December, you have summers in South Africa. Right? It is all because of the positions of the earth and the axial tilt of the earth. Right? अभी यहाँ पे आपको latitudes जो याद रखना है, 1, this is 0 degrees equator, 23.5 Tropic of Cancer, and Arctic Circle. Right? So you know that our earth, it takes 365 days to come back to its same position. In fact, 365 days and 1/4 of a day. And that 1/4 of a day, every 4 years it is added, and together it becomes a leap year. Right? So let's try to understand this. Now imagine this is the month of January. ठीक है? Just imagine this is the month of January. So in the month of January and in the month of June, look here. What is this line? What is this white line? Axis. So let us also draw right? So let's try to understand. This is the month of the June. ठीक है? On the month of June 21st पे, the sun rays which are there, they come and directly fall. For our understanding, what I'll do is, see, June में क्या होता है? The sun rays directly falls on Tropic of Cancer. ठीक है? So if this is your sun, the sun's rays will directly come and fall on the Tropic of Cancer. Right? Please make running notes along with me, because इसमें dictations की कोई scope नहीं होता. It is conceptual. So you understand and write along with me. ठीक है? So this is your Tropic of Cancer. Let me zoom in. Atlas है आपके साथ? Open your atlas. Go and look into India. This Tropic of Cancer passes through how many states in India? एटलस देख के ही बताओ, कोई इश्यू नहीं है. 8 states, वेरी गुड. सी जून 21 को सबसे ज्यादा सनलाइट और सबसे ज्यादा हीट कहां पर होता है? जहां पे ये जो ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर लाइन के ऊपर, क्योंकि द सन रेस आर फॉलोइंग डायरेक्टली हियर. एंड लुक, वेयर इज आवर ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैप्रिकॉन? दिस इज योर इक्वेटर, ठीक है, एंड दिस इज योर ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैप्रिकॉन. एंड सी हियर, I am drawing the area of illumination. Now, area of illumination, isn't this your area of illumination? Matlab, this part of the earth is covered with the sunlight, and rest of the part of the earth is not covered with the sunlight. So, those areas which are not covered with the sunlight, what I'll do is, I'll mark it with a dark area, gray area मान के चलो. Can I do this? Right? Now see, do you have light at the South Pole? No. Just imagine one more thing here. Why do you have the 6 months darkness? Look at this line. If I am rotating the earth, ठीक है, my earth rotates on its axis. Now just imagine I am rotating the earth. Is my South Poles having the sunlight even if I am rotating? No. ठीक है, until and unless this south pole is exposed to the sunlight, until then you will have darkness here. इसीलिए कहा जाता है 6 months of darkness and 6 months of light. But come to this place, North Pole. I'll be rotating the earth. Earth rotates on its axis only. So that's the reason why you have 24 hours of sunlight here. Now, which part of the earth will have 24 hours of sunlight? It is those areas which are near to the polar region. ये नॉर्थ पोल है ना, नॉर्थ पोल का आसपास का इलाका, this area also, entirely this part of the region will have 24 hours of sunlight. And see here, in the northern hemisphere, near to the polar region, it is completely day, right? June 21st, you will see the longest days in the northern hemisphere. On the 21st of June, sun rays directly fall on Tropic of Cancer. And even onto the equator also, you will see that the sun rays are falling slantingly. See here, आपको याद है कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है यहां पर? सरफेस एरिया. This rays are covering a smaller surface area, that's why there's so much of it. And the rays are directly falling on the Tropic of Cancer. See, Tropic of Cancer, you open your atlas, in the first page itself you will find, हर रोज atlas के साथ आना class, geography class को, you will have 8 states where the Tropic of Cancer passes through. You open the first page of the atlas, you will find the Tropic of Cancer passing through Gujarat. अब ये होमवर्क भी लेना, साइड में लिख लो, states where Tropic of Cancer passes through. Quickly write down. Gujarat, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Tripura and Mizoram. नाउ आई विल गिव द होमवर्क. इनमें से आप घर जाके ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर में ये देख के आओ कौन सा ऐसा कैपिटल्स है जो ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर का नॉर्थ में है, कौन सा ऐसा कैपिटल्स है जो ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर का साउथ में है, जिस विद द स्टेट्स, वॉट एवर द स्टेट्स द ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर इज पासिंग थ्रू. नाउ यू लुक इन टू द कैपिटल्स, बिकॉज स्टेट सर्विसेज एंड ऑल, the examiner will ask you Tropic of Cancer to which of the following states, but UPSC will go little more ahead and it will ask you what are the capitals that are present north of the Tropic of Cancer. इनमें से 3 capitals, that is Rajasthan, Jaipur, Mizoram, and as the capital city of Mizoram and the capital of Tripura, that is Agartala and Aizawl. ठीक है, Jaipur, Agartala and Aizawl, these are north of the Tropic of Cancer and rest of them are south of the Tropic of Cancer. ठीक है, so Tropic of Cancer का significance क्या है? It is nothing but the highest heat on 21st of June is on the Tropic of Cancer line, right? इसीलिए what is today's date? May 21st. And see, June is the month we have so much of heat. And do you know, June में, by the June 1st itself, the heat in the Kerala is gone. The heat in the Tamil Nadu is gone. In fact, Tamil Nadu has little heat, but Andhra, Karnataka, जितने भी southern states है ना, वहाँ पे गर्मी नहीं होता. क्यों? In the month of June, I am talking about. May is the time period where you will see highest heat in the southern part of India. Why? See, क्या है ना, June 21st को Tropic of Cancer पे you'll get to see. And see here, this is Tropic of Cancer. That means sun rays will be falling directly here. Just a minute. This is how the earth is. This is June 21st. मतलब Tropic of Cancer के ऊपर direct rays होगा. Rest of the sun's rays which are falling on the equator and all, they are slanting. मतलब just imagine this is your sun. The rays are falling on a slanting way. तो इसीलिए temperature won't be high in the other parts. See, if May 30th, this direct sun rays will be falling where? Is it north of the Tropic of Cancer or south of the Tropic of Cancer? South? देखो क्या होता है ना, June 21st को direct sun rays will be there on the Tropic of Cancer. When you look into the December में क्या है? Let's directly go to the month of the December and check where are the direct sun rays falling. ठीक है? If suppose you are standing here, you will feel that sun rays are falling directly here, right? This is the month of June 21st. But when it comes to December में क्या होता है? This is the, I hope everyone got this. I am going to the month of December. Sun, so Earth, what does it do? It goes around the sun and come back. So here you'll see that the same Earth, it is moving in its orbit. ठीक है? I'm not drawing the orbit just to make it a little more clear. Now see here. Axial parallel पता है? The axis of the earth is always parallel to the next position, right? Now this is your equator, right? This is your Tropic of Cancer. This is your Arctic Circle. This is Arctic Circle, Tropic of Cancer, 0 degrees equator, and then this is Tropic of Cancer. So in this month, you will see that the direct sun rays are falling on the Tropic of Cancer. Let me also show you the area of illumination here. Earth rotates from west to east. Now, where do you see the sunlight? Can I call this is the area of illumination? मतलब जहाँ पे sunlight होता है, and always the earth rotates on its axis. So, can I call this part of the area is under the darkness? right? Clear? So look into the North Pole and South Pole here. So look at this fly. Yeah. Just a minute. Yes. Where is it? Just a minute. Okay. Wait. Oh, UV light aa raha hai. So I have asked them to come. So more or less, this is your North Pole. This is your South Pole. Do you have light in the South Pole? Yes. Do you have light in the North Pole? No. Right? As the Earth rotates on its axis, irrespective of its day and night, there is continuous light in the South Pole and there is continuous darkness in the North Pole. Now, what is this date? This is the month of December. Where is it? Yes. So this is the month of December. Which date? 22nd. If you are going through some books say that December 22nd is the date, December 23rd is the date, December 21st. So अलग-अलग books में अलग-अलग date होता है. You can also write this as 21st या 22nd December. Right? This as 21st of June or 22nd of June. Every book has its own number, so you need not worry. Now, you see, the highest heat, you are finding it on the Tropic of Capricorn. Now, this is your देखो सिंपल है, जहां पे डायरेक्ट सनरेस होता है ना, वहां पे ज्यादा हीट होता है. ठीक है. नाउ द डायरेक्ट सनरेस आर फॉलिंग बिटवीन Tropic of Cancer. I'll draw this Tropic of Cancer with blue line. See, this is Tropic of Cancer during the months of June 21st, and it has shifted its position. ठीक है. The direct sun rays has shifted its position in the month of December 22nd to Tropic of Capricorn. If I give a statement saying that the direct sun rays of the Earth which fall on the Earth can be seen between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn only. Is the statement right? Let me repeat it. Huh. Have you heard the sound? Huh? What was that? Okay, we have killed someone. Right, that is why it gives so much of loud noise. Online wale ko pata nahi hai, there's a fly that is disturbing our board. So I have bought some UV light. That UV light attracts the flies because UV light has a very conducive temperatures for the flies. Actually, many times I told you that how does the touchscreen works? The phone and all, when you have water, it doesn't work. It is actually working through your temperature of the body. Okay, it has some sensors. As soon as you put water onto your phone, the touch do not work well because the water disrupts the temperature. So for this screen, which has very conducive temperature, it attracts the flies because flies are cold-blooded animals. ठीक है, उन्हें गर्मी चाहिए. इसीलिए आप घर पे देखो, कहीं पे भी लाइट होता है ना, लाइट के आसपास में lizards and all you will see. You know why? Primarily because lizards are cold-blooded animals. They need heat. लेकिन जैसे गर्मी आता है, गर्मी में you don't see that lizards. That lizards will be flying here and there. Right? Okay. Coming back to the topic. Now, South Pole darkness, and I asked a statement, right? The statement is, the direct sun rays fall on the Earth between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn only. Is the statement right? इतना कॉन्फिडेंटली गलत बोल रहे हो आप. इट इज यस दस. Yes, see here, the sun rays will be falling directly. Directly matlab vertically. Let me make the statement. The sun's rays fall vertically between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn only. Statement is right. ठीक है. हमेशा जो sun's rays है ना directly मतलब vertical. The angle which it makes, see here. Look at this. Look at this. What is the angle? परपेंडिकुलर को ही डायरेक्टली कहां जाता है. ठीक है. वर्टिकल कहां जाता है. बट व्हाट इज द एंगल? स्लैंटिंग है ना. अब जो भी रेस स्लैंटिंग में आता है ना, दे कवर लार्जर सरफेस एरिया. yesterday I have shown you a small image, if you remember. टॉर्च वाला. That's what. Just a minute. ये दिखाया था मैंने. Sun's rays will always come in a straight line, but they fall in a slanting way with respect to the surface of the earth. और एक और चीज ना, अर्थ का जो कर्वेचर है, अर्थ shape is not a flat. Just imagine, had if our earth is a straight line, these three lines will also cover the same surface area. And these three lines will also cover the same surface area. If I give you a statement, the shape of the earth is also one of the factor for the slanting rays to reach the surface of the earth. Is this statement right? Yes. You should mark it right. Had if our shape of the earth is so flat, just imagine our earth is a square box. Now look here. If you are having the rays directly falling here, हर जगह उतना ही intense light आएगा, right? So it is actually the shape of the earth which is also influencing the rays that are falling on the surface of the earth, right? So shape of the earth is also a factor, right? ध्यान से याद रखो, ये छोटे छोटे चीज है ना, it will confuse you in the exam. Okay. Come back. Now see here, you got to see the difference between December and January. Ab direct sun rays are falling on the Tropic of Capricorn. So Tropic of Capricorn, when you look into the atlas, it is actually passing through the southern hemisphere. So इसीलिए on this day, December 22nd, the southern hemisphere will see the longest day and the northern hemisphere will see the shortest day. Right? Look. लॉन्गेस्ट नाइट कौन सा हेमिस्फीयर में होगा? Do you agree? Yes. Right? Where is winter? Winter in the northern hemisphere or winter in the southern hemisphere? Northern hemisphere, winter, and southern hemisphere, summer. ठीक है? Likewise, you see here, where do you see summer? ठीक है. Now this is the fundamental difference between the seasons. अब let's try to understand, is the sun moving its position? Sun is stationary, more or less stationary, except for its rotation as well as revolution around the Milky Way galaxy. But sun is stationary to the earth. But why do we say that sun has shifted its position from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn? Why do we say? Look here, between these two cases, so this is case 1, this is case 2, this is June and this is December. Sun is present in the same place, but we say that sun rays is falling directly on the Tropic of Cancer, whereas sun rays is falling directly on the Tropic of Capricorn. Sun has never changed its position. It is actually the earth which has changed its position on the orbit. It has changed its position. It is revolution. That revolution will lead to the change in the heat. But what do we see is, always we study this geography with respect to human being. ठीक है, हमें ये लगता है, we see the sun and we see that sun is rising in the morning, sun is setting in the evening. We say that sun rises and the sun sets. Sun never rises, sun never sets. It is actually the earth that rotates, and we human beings will feel that sun is moving. Now, this movement we call it as apparent movement of the sun. Okay? Apparent movement of the sun. Now see here, a person who is standing on the Tropic of Cancer here will feel the sun rays are falling directly on June 21st. But the same person who is standing on the Tropic of Cancer here, just imagine, this is Tropic of Cancer, right? So, it feels as if sun rays are falling here. For this person, when he is looking, he feels that there is a shift in the sun's position, right? Now, this shift in the sun's position with respect to man, we call it as apparent movement of the sun. In fact, the sun do not move, but we feel it to be apparent, right? ये ध्यान से याद रखो, because entire geography is based on this. If you understand this concept clearly, you will understand the geography clearly. Else, you will then start to search for the stars. ऊपर देखते हो, नीचे देखते हो, कभी ग्लोब को घुमा के देखना पड़ेगा. You won't understand the subject, right? So you should be seeing this subject in a clear manner. Then only you will understand. समझ गया? यहाँ पे कोई doubt है? So now what I'll do is I'll draw the orbit. So this is the orbit on which the Earth rotating, right? So you got to learn that the sun rays are falling. Okay, write down quickly here itself certain points. Number 1, sun rays fall directly on the Tropic of Cancer. Summer in Northern Hemisphere, winter in Southern Hemisphere, longest day and shortest night is seen on Tropic of Cancer. ठीक है? That is in the Northern Hemisphere. Longest day and shortest night. Shortest day and longest night. Can be seen in Southern Hemisphere, that too on the Tropic of Capricorn. राइट? अब आप बताओ जून में कौन सा फेस्टिवल सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है? In India, what kind of fruits you get to see in the month of June? What kind of seasons you will get to see? Mangoes, right? Mangoes खाते हो आप? Are you eating mangoes? This is in the month of May. So these mangoes, if you see, basically ये जो चीज़ है, now if I ask you one thing, look at this Earth, equator, Tropic of Cancer, and this is Tropic of Capricorn. See, the sun rays directly falling on 21st of June where? जून 21 को यहां पे डायरेक्ट है, यहां तक डायरेक्ट रेस पहुंचने में कितना टाइम लगा? Yes, how much time it took? Near about 6 months. So to make it little more easier, I'll draw this. Just imagine this is the direct sun rays. The shifting of this direct sun rays took how many months to reach here? 6 months. So this is which date? Now you see, sun has a very unique set of properties. ये जो समर सीजन है ना, जून 21 से जैसे 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 इट स्टार्ट्स टू शिफ्ट बैक, ठीक है? नाउ एज सुन एज इट रीचेस टू दिस पार्ट, द हीट ऑफ द एंटायर लैटिट्यूड्स विल ऑल्सो शिफ्ट, ठीक है? यस, ट्रांजिशन पीरियड है. देखो, अब सनरेस इक्वेटर के ऊपर भी डायरेक्टली फॉल करता होगा कहीं ना कहीं टाइम पर. सनरेस इज ऑल्सो फॉलिंग ऑन 21st of June. दैट मीन्स जुलाई में क्या होगा फिर? रिट्रीट, मतलब वापस जुलाई में इधर होगा. जनवरी यहां तक इक्वेटर के ऊपर भी कहीं ना कहीं होना चाहिए ना डायरेक्ट सनलाइट, डायरेक्ट रेस. व्हेन इज इट? If 6 months is the time period from Tropic of Cancer to Tropic of Capricorn, June 21st के बाद, on which date you will see the direct sun rays falling on the Tropic of on the equator, not on 21st? कैसे डिसाइड किया 21st सितंबर? देखो सिंपल है यार, यहाँ 21st जून से लेकर दिसंबर 22 के बीच में हाउ मेनी मंथ्स आर देयर? 6 महीना. दैट मीन्स 6 months from here to here. Equator is exactly between these two, right? Can you comprehend this logic? The equator is present exactly between Tropic of Capricorn and Tropic of Cancer. मतलब 3 महीना यहां पे लगता है. That means, see, on 21st June, the sun rays will start to move towards south, falling directly, and again you will see this part on the September 22nd, you will see the direct sun rays falling on the equator. ठीक है? Now, by the time ये तो दिसंबर हो गया, दिसंबर तक यहां तक पहुंच गया, right? Now look here, I'll place a person on the equator. Now try to understand the perspective from the person who is standing at the equator. You'll see that for him, the sun rays will be moving north, the sun rays will be moving south. In fact, the sun is always the same. This is nothing but the apparent movement. अब पूरा गड़बड़ यहीं पर है. जहां जहां wherever you see this movement of the direct sun rays, there it will bring rainfall also. क्यों? गर्मी सबसे ज्यादा कहां पर होगा? जहां पे धूप ज्यादा होगा. It will also bring sunlight here. That is the reason why in the month of June you will see direct sunlight on the Tropic of Cancer. So much of evaporation will take place in the northern hemisphere. So that evaporation will convert into the form of rainfall. But there are more specific reasons I'll tell you in the further time period. How exactly the rainfall forms, how the monsoon comes. But one of the reasons for the monsoon is that there is too much of heat here. And when you open the globe, wherever you have intense heat, the evaporation will be more, and there you will have low pressure. याद रखो, जहां पे गर्मी ज्यादा होगा वहां पे लो प्रेशर होता है. ठीक है? सबसे ज्यादा लो प्रेशर एरियाज आर फाउंड ऑन दिस लैटिट्यूड. This entire latitude, the sun's rays will be falling directly over these places, so evaporation भी सबसे ज्यादा होता है. और जहां पर लैंड है, स्पेशली इन इंडिया, the land is too wide and the land gets heated, and any small water body which is present, lake या कुछ भी है, पानी गर्म होता है and evaporates, and every day or every now and then you will see rainfall there, right? Likewise, if you see this particular position of the sun, direct sun rays is shifting south. जैसे जैसे सितंबर पे आ गया, सितंबर पे the sun rays will be directly on the equator. Now October, it will go little down. November, it is here. December, Tropic of Capricorn. फिर January में क्या होगा? ठीक है. फिर February, March, right? Again, March में you will get to see the sun rays are falling directly on the equator. So the sun rays will fall directly on the equator in the month of September and also in the month of March. Do you agree? And देखो, can you comprehend if I am moving this? आपको समझ में आ रहा है? Why am I moving this? See, what I am trying to explain is, I hope you are clear with this diagram. ये कौन सा डेट है? June 21st ना? So imagine the direct sun rays. I am marking this direct sun rays as an arrow. Just imagine this is the direct sun rays, right? So this direct sun rays, you got to see this is in the month of June and in the month of September. In the month of January, this is what I am trying to explain through that diagram. Clear hai? Okay. The good question he asked is, sir, main reason for the seasons is axial tilt? Yes, perfect. Axial tilt is the first reason. Second reason is the revolution. ठीक है? Both first priority you will give it for the axial tilt and the second priority you will give it for the revolution. We'll imagine that our earth do not have axial tilt. ठीक है? Just imagine our earth do not have any axial tilt and the earth is revolving. Will you have seasons? Will you have seasons? समझ में आया क्वेश्चन? Okay. See, in simple terms, what I am trying to tell you is, there is no axial tilt. If this is the earth, see here, this is the sun. Now, this earth, if it started to go around the sun without any axial tilt, will you have seasons? You will not have any seasons. But you have decided that you are going to tilt this particular earth. Right? Now, what are you doing? You are tilting this earth. You will find seasons. Right? So the primary reason for the seasons is, it is actually the axial tilt. This tilt in the axis should definitely be there. If this tilt is not there, you will not get seasons. Right? UPSC ने यह सवाल already पूछा है एक बार. हाँ? Yes, in the PYQ, there is a question. Just a minute. If I have it, let me show you to that question also. Solve this question. On 21st June, the sun does not set below the horizon at the Arctic Circle. This is the previous year question, 2019 में पूछा गया. पूर्वांशी says axial tilt नहीं तो syllabus, geography का syllabus बढ़ाया. Such है. Come back. See, on 21st of the June, How many of you say A? Yes. How many of you say A? Shaurya? Asta? Yes? Yes? Anyone who has B as an answer? B, C, D, anyone? See, let me explain you this question. On 21st of June, the sun does not set below the horizon of the Arctic Circle. So where is Arctic Circle? Imagine your sun is here. Okay? That means this is the part of the area where you will have the sun rays. Basically, from this point onwards, ठीक है, यहां से लेकर यहां तक, from here to this part of the area, the sun is always present. ठीक है, even if you rotate, the sun is always there. Just imagine sun is side है, ठीक है, that on the other side. I am rotating the earth on its axis. The sun is always present. It says that the sun does not set. मतलब वहां पे रात होता ही नहीं है. इसका मतलब the sun does not set below the horizon. Horizon मतलब जहां दूर दूर तक जहां पे आप देख पाते हो, that is called as a horizon. Till the wherever the eyesight goes. अब दूर में when you look far away, you feel as if there is a curvature on the earth. That is called as the horizon. So at the Arctic Circle. Now this is your Arctic Circle. The sun does not set. Right? So the right answer is A. Look into the option B. Option B, the sun does not set below the horizons of the Antarctic Circle. Already, this is your South Pole. Do you have sunlight here? This entire region is dark? No. In fact, this entire region is dark. And especially, this part of the region is permanently dark. And this part of the region is having light for the next 6 months. Okay, until it changes its position. So, this is how UPSC asks question. ठीक है, थोड़ा हाँ, Punjab PCS में भी similar kind of questions are there. They'll simply directly ask you that on 21st of June, the sun is directly seen on which of the following latitudes. They'll give you Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn. So, this is how things are there. If there is another question, let me... Okay. Now let's come to the two other positions, that is during the months of the June. Just a minute. So now what we'll do is we'll try to understand the positions of the September 22nd and March 22nd. Right? September 22nd and March 22nd, these are the times where the sun rays directly fall on the equator. Okay? When sun rays directly fall on the equator, you will see that the equal length of day and equal length of night. If this is your equator, the sun's rays will directly fall here on the equator. Okay? So, in the northern hemisphere, you will have equal length of day and night. In the southern hemisphere also, you will have equal length of day and night. In simple terms, 12 घंटे का दिन होगा, 12 घंटे का रात होगा. ठीक है? You see in the month of May and June, you sometimes go and see in the morning 5:30 itself there is good amount of light. But winters mein, do you find that light? It is not there. It is primarily because the shift in the apparent movement of the sun. Right? I am going to use this word in the further classes again and again. That is apparent movement of the sun. Please try to understand this word very clearly. When I say apparent movement of the sun, in simple terms, the sun has shifted its position from one place to another place. Right? So this is what is with respect to equator. So जब भी equator के ऊपर sun's rays are falling directly, we will call this day as equinox. Equinox, it is because equal length of day and equal length of night, which is seen during the months of September 22nd and March 21st या 22nd. Right? पोलर रीजन पे भी 12 घंटे का दिन होगा, 12 घंटे का रात होगा इस दिन पे, ओनली ऑन दिस डे. And see guys, for example, you should be in a position to understand this concept in such a way. For suppose, if I say that the Tropic of Cancer is receiving the highest amount of heat, you should always remember that the entire latitude, it's not that if this part of the region is receiving the highest amount of heat, you should be imagining in such a way that this entire latitude is getting that heat. Do you agree? When you rotate the earth, this entire belt is receiving that heat. ठीक है? आप देख लो, you have equator. During the months of June, this part of the region is getting more amount of heat as compared to equator. Right? कौन सा एरिया ज्यादा गर्म होगा जून में? ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर बेल्ट. ठीक है? जहां पे सबसे ज्यादा गर्म होगा ये होगा आपका लो प्रेशर. ठीक है? एंड यू गो टू दिस पार्ट ऑफ द रीजन, ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैप्रिकॉन. दिस एंटायर बेल्ट विल रिसीव, इज इट हॉट और इज इट कोल्ड? इट इज कोल्ड. यहां पे हाई प्रेशर होता है. देखो सिंपल ये याद रखो, जहां पे गर्मी ज्यादा है ना वहां पे लो प्रेशर होगा, जहां पे ठंड ज्यादा होगा वहां पे हाई प्रेशर होगा. राइट? आगे मैं समझा दूंगा हाई प्रेशर एंड लो प्रेशर का कॉन्सेप्ट इन अ डिटेल मैनर, बट नाउ ब्रीफली अंडरस्टैंड, wherever you have good amount of heat you'll have low pressure belt, and wherever you'll have little less temperature you'll have high pressure belt. गैसेस के साथ भी रिलेट कर सकते हैं. अब ये भी देख लो. सो इफ आई से दैट, इज दिस पोजिशन ऑलवेज परमानेंट? नो. इफ आई एम शिफ्टिंग दिस पोजिशन लिटिल साउथ, what happens? The heat belt, this entire heat belt, I am also shifting little south, right? If I am moving it north, I am also shifting it towards moving north. तो ये याद रखो, प्रेशर बेल्ट्स हमेशा they keep on moving. इसे कहते हैं प्रेशर बेल्ट. ठीक है? नाउ दिस प्रेशर बेल्ट्स दे कीप ऑन शिफ्टिंग देयर पोजिशंस नॉर्थ साउथ. अब दिस इज वन ऑफ द रीजन व्हाई यू विल हैव मॉनसून्स इन द मंथ ऑफ जून. ठीक है? जहां लो प्रेशर होता है ना वहां पे क्या होता है, ऑल द एयर वांट्स टू कम टुवर्ड्स द लो प्रेशर एट द सरफेस. जितने भी हवा है, इमेजिन दिस इज अ क्लासरूम, दिस क्लासरूम इज हैविंग अ लो प्रेशर. सो टू दिस प्लेस द विंड वांट्स टू कम फ्रॉम द नेक्स्ट सेक्टर्स. मे बी आसपास की इलाका से ना द विंड वांट्स टू कम टू दिस प्लेस. वंस द विंड कम्स, द विंड राइजेस. सो इन सिंपल टर्म्स, if you look here, the wind will start to come from all the directions. इस डायरेक्शन से भी आएगा, इस डायरेक्शन से भी आएगा, हर डायरेक्शन से विंड यहां पे पहुंचना चाहता है क्योंकि ये लो प्रेशर है. दिस इज द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक ऑफ ए लो प्रेशर. सो कम बैक. सो ब्रॉडली you now got to understand the seasons, right? Seasons, there are summer season, there's winter season. Where do you find spring and autumn? In which month you will find spring season? आप बताओ. So if this is June, this is December, you will have March here, right? That means this is where in the month of March your earth will be here. and this is the month of September. Your Earth will be here. आप बताओ स्प्रिंग इधर है या इधर है? See, basically, we always study with respect to northern hemisphere. ठीक है, you should not get confused. सबसे ज्यादा आबादी या पॉपुलेशन कहां पर है? नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में. साइंटिस्ट सबसे ज्यादा नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर में ज्योग्राफी पढ़ा था, इसीलिए जो बुक्स लिखते वक्त भी नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से ही लिखा था. तो इसीलिए दिस इज योर स्प्रिंग इक्विनॉक्स, मार्च 22 को, एंड दिस इज कॉल्ड सितंबर 22 या 23rd, 21st. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज ऑटमन equinox. Equinox, on the day of equinox, you will see the sun's rays are directly falling where? Equator. So here also the sun's rays will be directly falling on the equator. So that's why on the equinox you will have equal length of day and night, and seasons are not too harsh. Basically सब मतलब ज्यादा गर्मी होगा तो प्लांट्स को तब भी दिक्कत है, कोल्ड है तब भी दिक्कत है, राइट? एंड यू सी हियर, वेयर इज व्हीट ग्रोन इन इंडिया? ड्यूरिंग विच सीजन इज व्हीट ग्रोन? मतलब आप बताओ यहां पे. बेसिकली व्हीट इज ग्रोन हियर इन इंडिया. मतलब गर्मी के मौसम में व्हीट ग्रो किया नहीं जाता है. बेसिकली यू सी, व्हेन द सन्स रेस इज डायरेक्टली फॉलिंग ऑन द ट्रॉपिक ऑफ कैंसर, द हीट इज वेरी मच देयर इन द नॉर्दर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया. ठीक है, उस टाइम पे ना व्हीट कैन नॉट बी ग्रोन इन द नॉर्दर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया बिकॉज व्हीट रिक्वायर्स ए टेम्परेचर ऑफ नॉट मोर देन 15 डिग्रीज सेल्सियस. इट कैन गो अप टू 20 बट नॉट मोर देन 15 to 20. 20 से अगर ऊपर का टेम्परेचर मिल गया ना व्हीट, इट इज गॉन. 15 degrees Celsius temperature it is required during the time of sowing. ठीक है, at the time of harvest it needs 20 degrees Celsius. थोड़ा गर्मी चाहिए, right? अब देखो, wheat is grown in India like this. That means if this is Tropic of Cancer, I'll draw India here. Right? Now see, if I am growing wheat here, यहां पे ठंड है. कौन सा महीना है ये? December. I have grown at the time of sowing. I need temperature of 15 degrees Celsius and I have it. Right? Now this, as I go towards the month of the March, ठीक है, in the month of the March, from here onwards the heat starts to increase. From here to here, if I am going, is the temperature increasing or decreasing in the northern part? Increasing. So wheat को भी जैसे जैसे harvesting इस मार्च के बाद होता है harvest. ठीक है, around March is the month that is the harvesting. April, अभी you go and see there is wheat getting harvested in the northern parts of India. क्योंकि अभी गर्मी आ गया है before the month of March itself. So होली आते ही harvesting festival होता है, right? So like this, our crops are also decided on this particular apparent movement of the sun. Now, you see, where is rice grown? Rice is grown here. ठीक है? Do you know, rice is considered to be a crop which is called as night crop. कुछ ऐसे crops होते हैं जो दिन में grow किया जाता है. मतलब they grow at morning time and during the night time they sleep. They don't grow. They take rest. But there are few crops which grow at night and take rest in the daytime. One such crop is your rice. Rice is a short day plant. SHORT, short day. मतलब दिन का समय छोटा चाहिए उसको, रात का समय ज्यादा चाहिए. क्या? कीमोसिंथेसिस ठीक है, बट इट इज द नेचर ऑफ दैट प्लांट. अब आपके लिए होमवर्क है 5 शॉर्ट डे प्लांट्स एंड 5 लॉन्ग डे प्लांट्स. आप अपना जो नोट्स है ना, साइड में you have a bracket. I asked you to make notes like this. If this is your paper, on the right side leave some space. So write down here 5 short day plants and 5 long day plants. Very good, Munendra. Clear with this? And see, our festivals are also related to all of this. Our monsoons are seen in the month of June. Okay? They also have a linkage with this. You'll understand in the next 10 to 15 days. ठीक है, नॉट नाउ. ज्योग्राफी में हर दिन कुछ ना कुछ कई सारे डाउट्स होता है. मुझे पता है आप में से कुछ लोग जिसने लास्ट क्लास मिस किया था, फॉर यू माइट बी फाइंडिंग इट लिटिल डिफिकल्ट टू अंडरस्टैंड, बट ट्रस्ट मी, इन द नेक्स्ट 6 days you will get the complete picture of all of this, right? So overall, your festivals are associated with this apparent movement of the sun, right? Your cultures are associated. Now come to northern part of India. Summer में shopping करना है, winter में shopping करना है, spring season and summer, मतलब you have to do shopping in summers and winters. You go to southern part of India, they'll do all the year lungi dance. Only one lungi, ठीक है, one clothing. There is no concept of summer, क्योंकि जो लोग इक्वेटर के पास होता है वहां पे गर्मी ज्यादा होता है all throughout the year, ठीक है. And those people who are living far away from the equator, they will be having less temperatures. So Tamil Nadu, you also can look into your atlas. See, those places which are near to the equator, they do not have summer. Sorry, they do not have winter, not summer. Winter का concept है ही नहीं. They don't go and buy winter clothing. They do not need big jackets. अब हमारा इंडस्ट्रीज देखो, दैट मीन्स क्लॉथिंग के ऊपर इनका कच्चा ज्यादा नहीं होता. क्लॉथिंग के ऊपर कच्चा कौन ज्यादा करेंगे? नॉर्दर्न हेमिस्फीयर. दैट मीन्स डिजीजेस विच आर देयर, कोल्ड रिलेटेड डिजीजेस, these people are prone to more. For example, a human being, if you look from the anthropology point of view, those people who are living in the mountains, their legs are stronger. Those people who are living in the plain area, their hands will be stronger. ठीक है? Likewise, those people who are living near to the equator, they are habituated to live with the heat. But you bring that person to Himalayas, they'll shiver a lot because they need to get acclimatized. First, suppose, just imagine any kind of climate change is happening. Just imagine, आपको सबको पता है climate change एक concept है, climate is changing, news articles here and there. Now, what is that climate change? Climate change, in simple terms, it means, first suppose, this part of the area is the place where your winter है in the months of December. When climate changes, if the heat increases, what happens is that जो wheat हम यहाँ पे grow कर रहे हैं, where 15 degrees Celsius is there, now wheat can no longer be grown if the temperature rises. That means entire northern part of India, their staple food is wheat, and the wheat is grown here. Wheat is not grown in this part of the country. क्यों? वहाँ पे temperatures हमेशा 20 डिग्री से सेल्सियस से ज्यादा होता है. विंटर का नाम है ही नहीं. इट इज लाइक थोड़ा सा 10 to 12 डिग्रीज टेम्परेचर हो जाए, दे फील सो कोल्ड, द वेरी थिक स्वेटर्स. ठीक है, यू ब्रिंग ए पर्सन फ्रॉम बिहार और ब्रिंग ए पर्सन फ्रॉम पंजाब, ठीक है, दे वेयर ए स्लीवलेस टी शर्ट एंड दे गो रोम अराउंड. ठीक है, दैट इज द फंडामेंटल डिफरेंस बिटवीन दिस पार्ट ऑफ द रीजन एंड दिस पार्ट ऑफ द रीजन, राइट? So broadly what I am trying to tell you is that the concept which we have learned today, you have to apply in every class, even to the society also. ठीक है? See, you go to Rajasthan. Rajasthan में people wear veils. It is related with climate. Why? Desert area है तो मिट्टी आते रहते हैं, dust and all, and that is the area where many wars are being fought. They never want their women to be exposed outside, right? It is war, cultural aspect, and also protection, but you have to look into the geography as well. Likewise, you go to the desert region. Desert में अगर कोई people है, they'll have scanty ice. Scanty ice means half closed ice होता है, ऐसे आधा close किया जाता है. क्यों? क्योंकि मिट्टी हमेशा flow करते रहते हैं. They are used to close their ice half. That's why they have scanty ice. SCANTHY, scanty ice, right? So all the relationships which you look into, they have a climate oriented and apparent movement of the sun, and geography has a wider concept applications. You need to learn to look in that angle, right? So आज से whatever the concepts you are trying to learn, just give a geographical perspective to it, right? This is what an examiner expects from you. आधा मार्क, एक मार्क एक्स्ट्रा मिलता है, and that will give you the edge. देखो, he asked, सर कोयम्बतूर ऊटी, यहां पे 4 हिल्स है एज यू गो फ्रॉम साउथ टू नॉर्थ. There are 4 major ranges of mountains here: नीलगिरी, अन्नामलाई, कार्डमम, अगस्त्यमलाई. ठीक है, 4 माउंटेन रेंजेस हैं. ये भी माउंटेन रेंजेस है, यहाँ पे टेम्परेचर थोड़ा कम होता है, इसीलिए इन दिस माउंटेन रेंजेस समर टेम्परेचर्स आर हाई, नो डाउट. ठीक है, ऊटी में इट इज कवर्ड विथ एंटायर हिल्स, सो इट्स द बिगेस्ट हिल स्टेशन इन द सदर्न पार्ट ऑफ इंडिया, सो एवरीवन वांट्स टू गो देयर. बट यहाँ पे यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग फ्रॉम द ज्योग्राफिकल परस्पेक्टिव, दैट इज this part of the region has coffee cultivations. ठीक है, क्यों? टेम्परेचर कम है वहां पर. They cannot grow wheat, mountainous area. All they'll grow is coffee. Araku coffee, Robusta, Wayanad coffee. ये सुना होगा ना, क्योंकि यहाँ पे पहाड़ होता है. This we'll learn after Indian geography. Now let's move little one step ahead and try to understand the rest of the topics here. Okay. You understood this concept? Small surface area, large surface area. Clear? And I'll be showing you some images which will give you better clarity. Try to watch this diagram. Imagine this is yourself. ठीक है, standing here in the month of June 21st. सन का पोजीशन देखो, आपको सीधा सिर के ऊपर लग रहा है ना. सन का पोजीशन देखो in the month of December 21st, and that too here the sun seems to be here. In simple terms, this is nothing but if suppose during the June 21st the sun will be seeming to be here, and during the December for this person the sun will be here, right? Are you able to comprehend this, what I am trying to tell? Imagine you are standing here and you are looking at the sun will be directly above your head. ऐसा लगता है sun ऊपर है. But for this person in the month of December the sun seems to be here. The same diagram is shown like this. There is an angle, right? So this is called as apparent movement of the sun, right? And you see, this diagram will try to explain you that 1 unit, see this part of the area, the sun's rays is directly coming and this area will receive certain amount of heat, right? But 1 unit of heat, when it is coming in a slanting way, this part of the area will receive less heat, क्योंकि surface area ज़्यादा है. यहाँ पे सीधा आ रहा है तो एरिया 1 यूनिट है, हीट रिसीव्ड इज ऑल्सो 1 यूनिट, बट स्लैंटिंग एरियाज में आ रहा हो तो इसीलिए आप शाम को इवनिंग टाइम पे यू डोंट फील मच हीट. यू नो वाई? बिकॉज द सन रेस आर ऑलवेज स्लैंटिंग. ठीक है, दैट इज द फंडामेंटल डिफरेंस. ओके, हियर आई विल ऑल्सो शो यू फ्यू मोर इमेजेस. The same concept, look here. Just a minute. This is with respect to seasons. June 21st and 22nd, December 21st and 22nd. Look, the sun is at the same place, but the earth, what is it doing? It is changing its positions. So from June 21st to December 21st, you see here, the axis is always the same. Axis parallel है ना? Axis, the sun rays is directly falling on equator. Here also the sun rays will be falling directly on the opposite side on the equator. So this is the orbit. On this orbit you will see the sun shifting its positions. And summer season, winter season, September में autumn equinox कहाँ जाता है, and here March equinox, sorry spring equinox और March equinox. मार्च में कौन सा फेस्टिवल सेलिब्रेट किया जाता है? होली इज कल्चरल फेस्टिवल, बट आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट एनी फेस्टिवल ऑफ फ्लावर्स, या you also look into the Mughal gardens being opening. Mughal gardens are nothing but the President House garden will be open in the month of March for the visitors, tourism. ठीक है? So ऐसे points ढूंढ लेना, ढूंढ के you give with respect to seasons. So this will give you a better clarity. Just अगर यहाँ पे कोई doubts है, you can ask me. Just if you want to draw this diagram, quickly draw this. Done? Okay. You can also add these points, vernal equinox और मार्च इक्विनॉक्स को वर्नल इक्विनॉक्स भी कहा जाता है, और एल्स मार्च इक्विनॉक्स को स्प्रिंग इक्विनॉक्स भी कहा जाता है. Give a heading as rotation and revolution of the earth. Quickly write down. I also would like to cover one more topic. So from tomorrow, what we'll do is we'll go for the climatology. We'll enter into the climatology, and actual topics start होंगे कल से. So do not miss the classes until the climatology completes, because if you are missing any class, you will not be able to understand the next topic. ठीक है? Geography is always continuous. अगर आप कोई class miss कर रहे हो, first thing is that I would recommend you to watch it before you come to this class, because it's a series of concepts that you will get enlightened at the end of 5th or 6th day. You will get the complete clarity. So tomorrow I'll explain the concepts of high pressure, what is high pressure, what is low pressure, ठीक है? And then we'll go into the wind system. राइट. सो क्लाइमेटोलॉजी में हम क्या पढ़ने वाले हैं climatology will study about what is wind, how the winds move. Don't write, okay? I'll explain. What is wind, how the winds move, in which direction the winds move, are they easterlies, are they westerlies, monsoons, as well as the concept of low pressure and high pressure. I'll explain all of these concepts from tomorrow onwards, right? Jet streams also. Jet streams is considered to be advanced geography, right? ये कौन सा चैप्टर पढ़ना है? 11th class NCERT, you can go and start to read the chapters of the climatology का एक separate unit है, वहां पे पढ़ सकते हो. So tomorrow I'll explain you the what are the layers of the atmosphere, the evolution of the atmosphere. बचपन में आपने पढ़ा होगा ना, stratosphere, troposphere, mesosphere, ionosphere. These things we'll learn, but you'll be learning from a different perspective. मतलब where are satellites? What is the role of the winds? What is the role of the jet streams? And then we'll learn about the clouds. And then clouds later on we'll go for the concept of high pressure, low pressure, and then the wind system, primary, secondary, and tertiary circulation. Primary circulation मतलब जो planetary winds है, मतलब साल भर चलते रहते हैं winds. Secondary winds मतलब cyclones, ठीक है? Local temperate cyclones and tropical cyclones. Tertiary winds मतलब local winds. जैसे रात को cool breeze आता है, कभी कभार गर्म हवा होता है, ठीक है? Land breeze, sea breeze. जैसे loo है, loo is a local wind. These are called tertiary winds. Now, once you have learnt primary, secondary, and tertiary circulations, done with climatology. We'll then go for geomorphology. Right? So, write down heading you have given as seasons, rotation, and revolution. First, subheading, give it as rotation of the earth. Earth rotates on its axis from west to east. Earth rotates on its axis from west to east. Next point, it takes approximately 24 hours to complete the rotation, complete one rotation. It takes approximately 24 hours to complete one full rotation. It takes approximately 24 hours to complete one full rotation. Day and night occur due to the rotation of the earth. Next point, day and night occur due to the rotation of the earth. Interior of the earth we'll do little later. Okay? After completing the climatology, I'll go for interior of the earth. Day and night occurs due to the rotation of the earth. The circle that divides the day from the night on the globe, the circle that divides the day from the night on the globe is called the circle that divides the day from the night on the globe is called the circle that divides the day from the night on the globe is called. So what is it called? The circle that divides day from the night on the globe. What is it called? Yes? सोच के बताओ. See, you have learned it. Suppose, yes, area of illumination. उसी area of illumination को मैंने circle कहा था. That is circle of illumination. In simple terms, just imagine, this is the light side of the earth. There is also a light side of the earth on the other side, right? Now this is a circle. ये सेमी सर्किल है, बट ये तो सेमी सर्किल है, बट ऑन द अदर साइड ऑफ द अर्थ ऑल्सो यू हैव एन अदर सेमी सर्किल. नाउ 3D में हमेशा अर्थ को 3D में ही देखना है आप लोग. मैंने स्टार्टिंग में ही कहा था ना, अगर मैं एक गोल बनाया तो आपको you should not see it as a snack item. You should see as if a 3-dimensional ball. Right? So this is called the circle of illumination. Write down. It is called as the circle of illumination. The earth, next point, the earth rotates on a tilted axis. Of 23.5 degrees. The earth rotates on a tilted axis of 23.5 degrees. ब्रैकेट में लिखो. The earth axis makes 23.5 degrees. आप बताओ. The earth axis makes 23.5 degrees from where? From a perpendicular line. From a perpendicular line which is drawn to the orbital plane of the earth. From a perpendicular line which is drawn to the orbital plane of the earth. And comma, the axis also makes an angle of 66.5 degrees with what? बताओ. It is the orbital plane of the earth. With the orbital plane of the earth. क्या? दोबारा बताओ. I did not get your question. ठीक है. ठीक है. शौर्य का कहना ये है, सर मैं यहाँ पे आई विल स्टैंड हियर, जहाँ पे रात भी है, जहाँ पे दिन भी है. ठीक है. व्हाट इज दिस कॉल्ड? ये तो रोज ही एक्सपीरियंस करते हो आप. ये कांस्टेंट थोड़ी है अर्थ. अर्थ ऑलवेज कीप्स ऑन रोटेटिंग. नो. सी, व्हाट इज द स्पीड ऑफ द रोटेशन ऑफ द अर्थ? Earth rotates 360 meters per second. It is more than the speed of the sound. ठीक है. Now just imagine Earth is rotating. You are standing on the Earth. See, don't write the values, not important. Just on a philosophical level, I am telling you this. You are standing on the Earth. Earth is rotating. Earth is rotating at a speed of how much? 300 meters per second, near about 36,000 meters, 3600 kilometers per day. That is the speed of the rotation of the earth. Standing on the earth, you are actually having a free ride to the galaxy. ठीक है? As a human being, that you may not experience, but when you look as a geographer, you are always on a constant travel. Not just you. Every space being which is there in the space, Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Sun, Tare, Airy, galaxy, they are not experiencing friction. बिचारे घूमते, they always rotate. ठीक है? And you are experiencing that free travel at millions of miles on a daily basis. ठीक है? So you are never a static object. They say no, Einstein and all, they sometimes say that no being is static. Now what do you mean by no being is static? Everything in this universe is moving. आइंस्टीन इतना फेमस क्यों है? जो सिंगुलैरिटी कॉन्सेप्ट हमने डे 1 में पढ़ा था. कितने लोग, हाउ मेनी पीपल इन दिस यूनिवर्स कैन रिलेट विद द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ सिंगुलैरिटी? द थॉट इटसेल्फ इज बियॉन्ड इमेजिनेशन, राइट? If everything in the world, if you wanted to put into one single place, including this table, the human beings, break their bones, shatter them, and then convert them into a single tiny object. Thought process में imagine करना काफी मुश्किल है. Now, Einstein, the Newton, big people, they have come up with these kind of thoughts. So that's why they are so great. So we are never a static being. So if you are standing here, you are not a static being here. Right? So the twinkle little stars, they are also moving on a daily basis. Alag colors of stars you see, their stars are also having different age groups. Red color stars are always on the verge of dying. They are also fighting for their life. They need some gases. So on a philosophical level, if you look into the primary रीजन फॉर द लिविंग बींग्स इज दैट 5 गैसेस. ठीक है, कुछ नोटोरियस गैसेस है, उनमें से ऑक्सीजन को मैं हमेशा मानता हूं नोटोरियस गैस. यू ऐड फायर टू इट, इट विल ब्लो इट ऑफ. नाइट्रोजन एक बैलेंसिंग गैस. कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड इट स्टेबलाइजर्स. ठीक है, ये 5 गैसेस जो है ना, इनिशियली सिंस द बिगिनिंग ऑफ द बिग बैंग थियरी, दे आर द वंस हु आर बैलेंसिंग द अर्थ. टुमारो in the atmosphere topic of various layers of the earth, there you will understand the significance of each and every layer. ठीक है, these gases will also help in the temperature of the earth. Temperature means greenhouse gases, they maintain the temperature. Likewise, they also help in the stability of the earth as well. ठीक है, so Shaurya, this is nothing but the twilight which you experience on a daily basis. Evening 6 PM पे आप experience करते हो, जहाँ पे दिन हो ना रात है. That is the good time for mosquitoes. Someone who enjoys twilight, what are they called? Someone who enjoys the twilight, or a being, living beings, you go to the desert. ठीक है, सबसे ज्यादा शाम को, मतलब इवनिंग टाइम पे इट इज सेड दैट शाम को डेजर्ट्स पे मत जाना, या रात होने के बाद जाओ या दिन होने के बाद जाओ. हाँ, नॉक्टर्नल एनिमल्स कहीं ज्यादा होता है, या क्रिपस्कुलर एनिमल्स कहाँ जाता है. दीज क्रिपस्कुलर एनिमल्स इन द डेजर्ट्स, व्हाट डू दे डू यूज ड्यूरिंग, दे कैन नॉट बेयर एक्सट्रीम हीट, दे कैन नॉट ऑल्सो बेयर एक्सट्रीम कोल्ड. सो उनके लिए राइट टाइम है इवनिंग टाइम पीरियड, जहाँ पे गर्मी ना ज्यादा है ना ठंड ज्यादा है. दे कम आउट. सो इफ यू आर गोइंग इन टू द डेजर्ट्स इन द इवनिंग टाइम पीरियड्स, इन टू द hinterlands of the deserts, there's high chances that you will not come back. ठीक है, so it's not just deserts, especially mosquitoes are there. They are also called as crepuscular beings. They are active during the twilight, neither during the extreme day nor during the extreme night, but especially during the twilight time period. Temperatures are very conducive. Next point. The orbital plane is the plane. The orbital plane is the plane of the Earth's orbit around the Sun. The orbital plane is the plane of the Earth's orbit around the Sun. Very good online. Right? So this is what is called orbital plane. ये जो ग्रीन कलर लाइन दिख रहा है ना, दिस इज इक्वेटोरियल प्लेन. ठीक है, इक्वेटर को आप एक कार्डबोर्ड लगा दो बीच में, ये बन जाता है इक्वेटोरियल प्लेन. वैसे ही दिस इज ऑर्बिटल प्लेन. क्लियर? नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, रेवोल्यूशन ऑफ द अर्थ. ठीक है, राइट डाउन. द मोशन ऑफ द अर्थ अराउंड द सन, द मोशन ऑफ द अर्थ अराउंड द सन which spins in an elliptical orbit. The motion of the earth around the sun which spins in an elliptical orbit is called revolution. It takes 365 days plus 1/4 of a day. It takes 365 days plus 1/4 of a day to revolve around the sun. शौर्या का क्वेश्चन ये है, सर ये टाइम वेरी भी तो कर सकता है. वेरी नहीं करेगा. मैंने क्या कहा था, अर्थ हैज अ फिक्स्ड ऑर्बिट बट द पोजीशन ऑफ द ऑर्बिट चेंजेस. ऑर्बिट का लेंथ उतना ही होगा, लेकिन जो ऑर्बिट का पोजीशन है ना, वो इधर से इधर होगा, इधर से इधर, मतलब द लेंथ इज सेम. राइट. नेक्स्ट, द 6 hours which is saved every year, the 6 hours which is saved every year is cumulatively added the 6 hours which is saved every year is cumulatively added to make 1 day, is cumulatively added to make 1 day over a span of 4 years. This surplus day is called a leap day. This surplus day in every 4 years is called a leap day, which is added to the month of February. Okay. Next, put a star mark and write the tilt in the axis of the earth, and the revolution around the sun leads to the changes in the season. Right? Quickly take this diagram. I want you to mention what is perihelion, what is aphelion. See, make sure 3rd January is called as a perihelion. Perihelion matlab paas mein. The nearest point or the nearest distance at which the earth is located from the sun is called as perihelion. And the farthest distance at which the earth is located, it is called as aphelion. See, perihelion position is in the month of January. Okay? It is not the distance between the sun and the earth that gives you summer or winter. Remember this. Try to understand this again. It is not the distance between the sun and the earth that will lead to seasons. It is actually the tilt in the axis and the revolution of the earth will lead to seasons. Aphelion means apart, dur. इंटेंसिटी में हल्का सा फर्क होता है, ठीक है, बट इतना बड़ा चेंजेस नहीं है. Write down the dates as well. This is 3rd July and that is 3rd January. In the northern hemisphere, during the months of July, it is summer. So during the summer time periods, the earth will be at the farthest position from the sun. ठीक है? The earth will be at the farthest position from the sun. एग्जाम में यही सब क्वेश्चंस आता है, ठीक है? Yes? I did not get you. Yeah. Next, give a heading as seasons. Subheading as seasons. लिखो समर सोल्स्टिस. सीजन्स, समर सोल्स्टिस. और जून सोल्स्टिस. सोल्स्टिस का स्पेलिंग इधर है. जून सोल्स्टिस और समर सोल्स्टिस. Write down. On 21st of June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. On 21st of June, the northern hemisphere is tilted towards the sun. And the sun's rays directly fall on the Tropic of Cancer. And the sun's rays directly fall on the Tropic of Cancer. Therefore, this area receives highest heat. Therefore, this area receives the highest heat relatively. The highest heat relatively. The areas nearing to the polar region receive less heat. The areas near to the polar region receives less heat because the sun's rays are falling on a slanting way. Because the sun's rays fall in a slanting way. Here, the North Pole is inclined, next point, here the North Pole is inclined towards the sun. North Pole is inclined towards the sun, and the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous day. And the places beyond the Arctic Circle experience continuous daylight for about 6 months. For about 6 months. ठीक है? गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स देखा? द विंटर इज कमिंग. मतलब relatively, where is this place located? Near to the polar region. ठीक है? That means somewhere this particular, just on a fun note I am telling that winter is coming. Why do they fear for the winter? Because 6 months of darkness, continuous darkness hoga, kush. When there is no sun, there is no plants. Plants get their life from the sun. If there is no plants, there is no vegetation. When there is no food, when there is no plants, there is no animals. Even if you are non-vegetarian, you don't get food. ठीक है? Sun is the ultimate source of energy. Sun है तो सब कुछ है. Sun नहीं है तो कुछ नहीं है. ठीक है? So that's why there is no life for the 6 months time period during the times of winter. Winter darkness में no one would like to stay there. Electricity generation is also difficult. The water will not flow. So how are you going to generate that hydroelectricity? You have to go for nuclear power generation. So that's why near to the Arctic region, tourism is developed using the nuclear fuel. Right? So nuclear fuels are used in the Arctic region for the generation of the electricity and the tourism development. Jitne bhi submarines hai, which are going towards the North Pole area, what do? They use nuclear fuel as the material. Because even any material which is there, it gets frozen. ठीक है? So petrol, diesel, they get little hardened in the extreme cold. It's not that easy for them to start. So that's why nuclear fuel has so much of significance in the polar expeditions. अब आपके लिए एक छोटा सा होमवर्क है. इंडिया का न्यूक्लियर स्टेशंस, what are the names of the what are the names of the research stations in the North Pole and the South Pole? What are the names of the research stations of India located in the North Pole and the South Pole area? कल मुझे बताना क्या क्या है. किसी anyone knows? Gangotri, Bharti, Maitri. Gangotri is in the north, Maitri and Bharti is in the south. Another one is there. Tino? No. Gangotri is in the north. Himadri. One is Himadri, another one is Gangotri. Gangotri का नाम ही हिमाद्री बाद में चेंज किया था इन्होंने. उसके बाद you also have Maitri and Bharti in the south. Bharti is in the news. It is in the news for एक और रिसर्च स्टेशन हम प्लान कर रहे हैं क्या? सो हम पिछले साल एक बिल पास किया था, इफ यू नो, अंटार्कटिक बिल. ठीक है. वाई इज इंडियन पार्लियामेंट डिस्कसिंग अबाउट अंटार्कटिका? वी डू नॉट हैव एनीथिंग देयर. मतलब कुछ तो सिग्निफिकेंस होगा ना. तो ये एग्जामिनेशन, दिस इज द सिग्निफिकेंस फॉर द एग्जामिनेशन. इफ we are discussing something in the parliament about Antarctica and we have wanted to pass a bill on Antarctica in our Indian parliament, now that becomes important, right? This is what is politically you have to look into it. शौर्या का क्वेश्चन ये है, सर ये जो नॉर्थ पोल है, इफ यू लुक इनटू दिस नॉर्थ पोल एरिया ड्यूरिंग द समर टाइम्स, लुक हियर, much of this region is covered with ice. ठीक है. Sorry, during the summer times it is water. Winter times में ना पूरा ice बन जाता है. Even ocean water is turned into ice. The surface layer, most of the area, 60% of the region. Ships cannot move. So what do they do? Russia and USA, how do they navigate? See, all this are very practical to understand. Lekin you do not interlink, so that's why things will become difficult for you. What is this? Icebreaker. Ab India is having a research station in the North Pole or in the South Pole. Don't you think that India needs to have a ship like this to do some research? So we take the help of Russia. Russia has given one of the ship to India. Of course, we paid it. Free mein to nahi mila. Now, it cuts these icebreakers and then we use these icebreakers cutting and all, we do research. Now, why is that India has to do research in Antarctica? Kya hai India? Why do we get? Why do we have to do in Arctic? Climate change. See, basically, similar kind of climate activities can also be seen in the Himalayas. If you are studying North Pole, you can. It is also an equivalent study that you are also studying Himalayas. क्योंकि Himalayas India के लिए काफी asset माना जाता है. If that Himalayas melt, climate change studies are very very important for us. So that's why we go with these ships. अब चलो यहाँ तक पढ़ ही लिया तो एक और क्वेश्चन पूछ लेता हूँ. Take one more question as a homework. What is Arctic Sea route? North Sea route or Arctic Sea route? What is Arctic Sea route or North Sea route of Russia? Gangotri minerals, very good, Munendra. शौर्या से क्लाइमेट चेंज होगा तो फायदा होगा. ठीक है. यस, बेसिकली यहाँ पे बहुत सारा रिसोर्सेस है, मिनरल्स एंड ऑल. इफ दिस रशिया वांट्स टू एक्सप्लोर दिस एरिया, नॉर्थ सी रूट इज अ रूट. 6 months of the time period this is fully covered with ice. So what does the Russia wants to do is it wants to do trade with Europe. So they cannot do that trade very easily because big mountains are there in between. So that's why Russia wanted to explore a shipping sea route like this and then it wants to enter into Europe from here. ठीक है. ये है North Sea route. As the climate change is happening, North Sea route is opening up. Yes. Eastern Maritime Corridor. ये IR में पढ़ोगे आप. ठीक है. That is not geography, but still try to relate this North Sea route क्या है. Right? It passes through which seas. That becomes important for you. Next. Last point क्या लिखा आपने? Okay. Next. Since a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light, from the sun, since a large portion of the northern hemisphere is getting light from the sun, it is summer in this region. It is summer in the north of the equator. It is summer in the north of the equator. Full stop. The longest day and the shortest night. The longest day and the shortest nights occur in the northern hemisphere. Okay, next point. At this time in the southern hemisphere, all the conditions are reversed. At this time in the southern hemisphere, all the conditions are reversed. Full stop. Now quickly take down this diagram. Only this I want. Okay? I want you to show this part of the area is dark and this part of the area is light, and this is axis and this is area of illumination or circle of illumination hai. Yeah? Right? Direct sun rays is falling on the Tropic of Cancer, and summer in the northern hemisphere, winter in the southern hemisphere. Quickly, 21st of June, you can write this data. Taki it will be easy for you to revise. Done? See, this class is considered to be the crux of geography. Aaj, everything is based on this particular topic itself. Once you're done with this, let me know. Penguins, where are they found? Northern hemisphere or southern? Penguins are found in the southern hemisphere and polar bears in the north. Penguins, they also shed their bodily activity during the times of winter. Not just this, polar bears also, 6 months, where do they stay? Sunlight kuch nahi hai to khana kahan se milega? Of course, there are few fishes, but they need more energy to fish that, to hunt that fishes. So, polar bear, it do not spend that energy. Simply it goes and hibernate. In fact, polar bear shuts down its activity. The real hibernation is happening in the grizzly bear. Grizzly bear जानते हो? Brown bear. Brown bear, what does it do, you know? Before it is going to hibernate, एक छोटा सा चीटी भी कहते हैं, और अंतेरिया मौत करके एक मौत होता है, इतना सा छोटा सा fly, the size of my finger. Now they have 75% of fat in that flies. It eats near about 15,000 moths per day for next 1.5 months, and it goes and sleeps for next 3 months. Sleeps in the sense, it will shut down its bodily activity. और जितने भी energy है, it will convert into fat है, it will convert into energy. But one more question. Do you find fishes near to the North Pole during the times of winter? होता है. Fishes have special proteins. They are called as AFP. Anti-freezing proteins होता है. Even below the freezing temperatures, they can survive. ठीक है? In the sea. AFP proteins are present in few fishes. That's why the fishes are being able to survive in the polar regions. Anti-freezing proteins. That is from the environmental angle. हाँ, एक्सक्लूसिव फिशेस है, स्पीशीज है. हिमालयन नदी में भी फिशेस होता है ना. टेम्परेचर्स आर समटाइम्स लेस देन 0 ऑल्सो इन दोस. इट इज नॉट आइस, सुपर कूल लिक्विड होता है, वहां पे भी दे आर प्रेजेंट. couple of lines more, quickly write down winter solstice. It is on December 22nd. Points wise लिखो. It is on December 22nd. The sun rays directly fall on Tropic of Capricorn. It is summer in the southern hemisphere and winter in the northern hemisphere. the sun does not set below the horizons of Antarctic Circle. The sun does not set below the horizons of the Antarctic Circle on December 22nd. ठीक है? Clear? Full stop. So you can also, if you have already taken this diagram, fine. This diagram you can take. फोटो वोटो लेना हो तो ले सकते हो आप. ठीक है? Now this is what is your seasons, rotation and revolution. Box में लिखो rotation, day and night, revolution plus tilt in the axis is equal to seasons. Rotation is day and night, revolution plus tilt in the axis. This is tilt in the axis will lead to seasons. Now, अगर इस टॉपिक के ऊपर कोई भी क्वेश्चन आया ना, यू कैन आंसर. ठीक है? आई डोंट थिंक देयर कैन बी एनी क्वेश्चंस बियॉन्ड आवर क्लासरूम एक्सप्लेनेशंस, बट कॉन्सेप्ट समझना चाहिए आपको. राइट? विल स्टॉप हियर एंड टुमारो विल कंटिन्यू. Tomorrow we'll start with the atmosphere. What are the layers of the various layers of the atmosphere and the clouds? This is the topic. अगर आपको पढ़ के आना तो पढ़ के आ जाना. Yes? हाँ, climatology. We have started with climatology. Proper climatology we are going to enter. Right? Chapter wise PDF already shared है ना आपके साथ? पोर्टल पे अपलोडेड नहीं है? ठीक है, I'll share it with you. ठीक है? If you do not have it, just drop a message to me. देखो वैसे तो I'll get it shared, but still if you don't get it, make sure to mention your name while you message me. This is my contact number. So PDF, just drop a message, I'll share it to you. Right? Okay. Thank you and we'll see you tomorrow.